Hey everybody, and welcome to RetroActive's Corner. My name is Mr. Retroactive, and today we are with three of our awesome guest stars here for this one. One of them unfortunately was unable to get here, but luckily enough we do have someone else. So joining me today is Dr. Death and Rye Guy, like I mentioned before, but we also have our good buddy Phoenix Fire joining us for the Home Alone 1 and 2 movie reviews.
Yo, what's poppin'?
Just moving some stuff around here.
Happy holidays.
Yep, happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Yep, we're getting right into the month of December now. It's hard to believe, but we're actually there. Now we are going to be doing the review like we always do, but this time it's all based on Christmas movies throughout the entire month of December. So,
Yes.
with that in mind, when was the first time you ever watched this movie?
Oh God. How long ago was it?
About 5 years old. A couple of years
I
after.
really don't remember when I first watched it.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm going to look up the year. I think it was 91.
Yeah, I watched when
That's
I was
what
first.
it was.
I first watched when I was 5 years old. I remember watching it as a kindergartner.
You just have to double check. That's the reason why. Why in the world is it saying Home Sweet Home Alone? I'm looking for the... Oh, 1990. Sorry, 1990 is when it came out.
Oh my God, Home Alone's a year older than me. My God, damn, I'm old, man. Damn.
I'm old too.
I'm old too, man. I'm 3 years younger than this movie.
I'm 1 year younger than the movie. Like, holy crap, that's so too close in age. No.
I was born in 1991. Don't say I'm 1 year older.
All right,
91 babies rule, damn it.
All right, so with that in mind, for you guys, yeah, like we always do on this channel, we always ask people what their total scores are going to be before we actually do the review. I have a score of 0 to 50. What do you guys think your scores are going to be on this one?
You know?
For me, 50.
50? Wow. All right, so we got our first 50 here. All
I
right.
think mine's gonna also be 50.
All right, we got a second 50.
I'm thinking between 45 and 50.
So a 47, going right in the middle.
Sure.
All right. I'm going to give this one a 45. For as much as I do love this film, I think it's actually one of those films that is very timeless. But there are some jokes that more make me wonder, how are they not dead yet?
Yeah.
I honestly don't blame them, though. All right. So, just like we always do, we always go by 5 categories. We go with story, characters, music, design, and of course, for movies, television, anime, cartoons, that sort of stuff, we always do atmosphere. If it was a video game, we do gameplay. So, in this case, we're going to start off with story. And honestly, I do like how simple the story is. Kid gets left behind by his family, and he basically has the whole run of the house to himself until the robbers show up.
Yep.
And then it's just absolute mayhem from there.
And that's where the fun begins, my friends.
I gotta be honest, I wouldn't say he was abandoned. I was gonna call he just wanted a wish and wishful thinking in it being Christmas. It kind of wanted to play a little twist of fate and cruel joke on him.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to admit, though, What?
Because when we first meet the main character, it's like we see already he's a little bit of a brat and he's an ass.
That is true.
Yeah.
So I say there's a Christmas joke that was a twist of fate on his part that he just got lucky.
Yep.
Yeah.
So abandoned is a strong word.
What do you think about his role in the second one? Do you think he's still a bit of a brat, or?
Oh, no, he's still a little bit much of a brat.
He's still obnoxious, but not as complete like he was in the first one.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
For what it's worth, though, we'll start off with Rye Guy. What do you think of the story in itself as a whole?
Some of John Hughes' best work.
All right. What about you, Phoenix Fire? What do you personally think of the story?
I agree. It's one of John Hughes' best work because if you think of it, John Hughes at the time he just got finished doing a whole bunch of 80 comedies for teenagers, and he was starting to focus on family films.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like he wanted to show a different kind of Christmas movie that we haven't quite seen before. It's like we've seen all the traditional lovey-dovey, something goes wrong, and then the family has a bit of an argument, and then they come back together in the end. But
True.
he wanted to really change up how it looked to be for a Christmas movie.
Very true. What about you, Dr. Death?
I think they did a good job of it. Like they all said. I mean, the storyline was pure gold to me. That's why I'm saying this one is a 10 for me.
Nice.
Because of the story and of how funny it was. Oh my gosh. I cannot get over how much character the bandits went through.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, for what it's worth, though, Yeah?
Yes. Oh my god. 10 out of 10.
For me, I do love the story. It's a simple story, but yet one that has so much potential for comedy and does an incredible job with it. And, however, I am going to say this. How are those two guys not dead yet for all the stuff that they went through? Some of those injuries are deaths.
Yeah, especially in number 2. Remember when? Oh crap! What's his name? The curly haired guy. That's
Daniel Stern, Marv.
Yeah, Marv. Yeah, when he grabs onto the the sink, and he gets electrocuted by what looks like a part of the welding setup. He turns into a skeleton. He should have died.
Okay, yeah. First of all, humans can survive up to 50,000 volts worth of electricity. But, yeah, if you're seeing the person's skeleton, they're most likely dead.
Or at least in cardiac arrest. That would have been right there. He would have had cardiac issues.
Exactly. You're going to have cardiac issues after that. But, yeah, I'm with you on that one. But still, what do you guys... Alright, so we already know Dr. Death's score is a 10 out of 10. What would you guys give a score from 0 to 10 on story?
Done.
Give it I would give it a 9 because in Home Alone 2, when Kevin's mother is berating him for not accepting his brother's apology, when even he knew it was a complete load, just shows how much she flip-flops between caring for him so much and so little.
That's true.
Okay.
Now that you bring that up, I'm actually going to lower my score to 9.
Alright.
You're right. That is true.
Alright, so I am actually going to give it a 9 myself, because honestly, for what it's worth, it definitely seems like that the mother did not learn her damn lesson.
No.
Good lord.
What's more, she did it again to him. In number 2.
I would knock my score down. Sorry.
Wait, what'd you say?
I was gonna say I will lower my score to a 9 because I don't know if you guys ever seen Cinema Sins. Right when the movie begins, how he zooms in on how the family accidentally throws out his passport and plane ticket, giving you already the dead giveaway. He's gonna be home alone. Like, I could knock it down at one point just because of that scene alone. But like, you know what? As the movie goes on, it makes us laugh and it makes us just feel so good. So I was like, I'm not gonna change it from my 10. I'm keeping it at 10.
Oh, okay. Give me a second. I'm fixing that again. Alright, there we go. So, alright, next, of course, we have characters. Okay, now this is actually where I'm willing to give that, yes, a lot of the family characters, you don't see too much of them. The characters themselves, they mainly focus on 3 people entirely. And it's mainly the robbers and the boy. That's it.
Right.
Alright, I'm muting real quick.
Alright, no worries.
Okay.
But yeah, basically, the idea that this kid is going through this, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Who? Yeah, seriously.
Mhm.
Why would you leave Kevin all alone? For one thing, that's
How did
pretty
you
bad.
not realize?
And not to mention, they did a really good job of getting some good people for the robbers. Well done on that one.
Oh yeah.
Overall, though, they had a really good, incredible cast. I'm looking up right now. We have
Quite a few Canadians too.
we actually have Kieran Culkin. He was Fuller.
Oh.
Catherine
Another
O'Hara
wife.
was Kate. John Hurd
Canadian
was
legend.
Peter. And then there's Devin Rattray was
was
Buzz. And then of course we got the robbers. Joe Pesci played Harry Lime, and Marv Merkins as played by Daniel Stern.
And you gotta give credit too. Who would have thought Joe Pesci had comedy bones in him?
True.
We're used to him being a gangster or mobster because he was
I
famous
mean,
for
my
mobster
cousin
movies.
Vinny was really funny in parts.
That's
Why
true.
not?
Then of course we got Gary Bamman as Uncle Frank. We have Jeff, who was played by Michael C. Morona. And Marley
So
was
it's
played by
cool.
Roberts
One
Blossom.
time things.
John Candy was Gus Polinski. And then
Another
John
Canadian,
Hughes.
awesome comedy gold.
Yeah, so... Yeah, it's pretty interesting, to say the least. They had a really
I'm
good
back.
star-studded cast for this
Oh.
movie.
What are we talking about now?
Well, we're still talking about characters.
character.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, go for it. What do you think about the characters in this movie?
I'm gonna have to give the characters. I'm gonna give them a 9 again because, well, like I said, the mom is too mean to the kid, and I just don't like that part. But other than that, it's a 9 because I love how freaking Kevin just tortures
Harry and Marv.
yeah, those two.
Yeah.
And, oh my god.
Alright, so now it's
That
Phoenix
is
Fire.
beautiful.
Phoenix Fire, what about you? What do you think of the characters in this movie?
Like, I'll give it another 10. But if you think of it, I seen this on Facebook, and I'm going to use this as for my bit of an argument. Someone has a fan theory like, what if Buzz intentionally set up Kevin to look like he was the bad guy for the whole movie? And in a way, Kevin kind of was the bad guy in the whole movie because he got left home alone, but it was all because of Buzz's fault. He ordered the pizzas, and he was the one who provoked Kevin. And of course, Kevin being Kevin, he didn't like that, and he kind of snapped and went after his brother, and then that's when all the fiasco happened, and he got shit on, and then it's like, in a way, you kind of feel bad for Kevin. It's like, his brother provoked him on purpose. because of the
Basically,
pizza.
him being home alone was literally him justifying what his brother and his family did to him.
Yep.
In a way, you could say that. So it's like, his brother intentionally set it up so he would be home alone and get treated like crap while they get to go on a nice vacation.
True.
Yeah.
What about you, Rye Guy? What about your thoughts on the characters of this film?
I totally agree with Phoenix. I don't think I could have said it any better myself.
Alright, so then what would you guys give the score? Because I already saw Phoenix Fire with a 10 and Dr. Death with a 9. What about you, Rye Guy?
I'm gonna say a 9 as well.
9? Alright. Though I am willing to say that she was not portrayed the best way when it comes to the Home Alone franchise for the mom, for Catherine O'Hara. They did, however, for her personality to be the way it is, she did a fantastic job on it. I'm willing to give this film a 10 on character.
I can see that.
Alright, so, alright, here we go. So, next we have music, and seriously, do we really have to explain that?
And it's John Williams. You can't say no to John Williams. Star Wars legend.
He's a legend in the film industry as a whole.
Oh yeah.
You can't say nothing. It's John. Let's say John Williams.
Yeah, John Williams, 10.
10.
That was possibly the quickest 10s we've ever given on this channel. And it always involves John Williams, strange enough.
Well, yeah, it's John Williams.
Dr. Death.
I told you, I've watched this movie so many times. I know so much about it.
Dr. Death, do you give it a 10 as well?
Who wouldn't?
True. All right, so, yeah, quickest 10s we've ever given on this channel, folks. I'm not joking. And it always involves John Williams. That's just how things are.
John Williams is just good. He's just too good for his own good.
In this case, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Honestly,
He should never retire from Star Wars after the last Skywalker or whatever. He should not have retired. He should be still doing Star Wars. Get out of retirement and continue the movies, damn it.
Okay, first of all, I think that it's kind of good that the movies are done, so that way they can focus on doing actual shows that happen, stories in between those.
Oh, they're not done the movies. They're still going to be doing movies. They're just going to be focusing on other characters of the franchise.
Right.
Which makes
They're
sense,
not going to be
honestly,
focusing
though.
on characters we love.
Honestly, that makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No, he can't retire. He has to come back.
Yep.
All right.
If he doesn't come back, I'm going to get mad.
All right, here we go, everyone. We're gonna go. Actually, we will discuss that in a moment about that, because I do know that there are some people that could try to emulate something close. But we'll talk about that later. Next, of course, is design of the film. I like how it's all set around the house, and they do a really good job of making those traps. Well done on them for creating those.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
Honestly, for what
They
it's...
were really creative.
Yeah. It's very rare you see a movie that really does implement the practical effects in the best way.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, this is just around the time that the advent of CG was still really new.
Yeah. And the
But can we
CG
really
fire
call it new?
on Harry's head was pretty good.
That's not CG fire. That was actual fire.
Oh, it was? Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, luckily enough, they had safety crews available at the time when they did that, so no one was actually
They must
hurt.
have had that special gel that you can
Yeah.
put on yourself and it'll...
Yeah,
burn
basically flame
or
retardant
burn
gel. Yeah.
Because I don't think Joe Pesci would want his head actually burning like a firework, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright.
Lawsuit needing to happen.
For what it's worth, though, they did have safety crews on hand when they did that, so...
As well, I'm looking for a place, so you'll be able to live with me. Put it in small words.
Hey, Jasper.
We'll always still come down here, play pickleball and hang out
Hold
here.
on.
But at the end of the day, I'll be going back to.
Alright, so we're gonna let him have his private conversation. Let me know if he starts talking, okay? But, yeah, what about you, Phoenix Fire?
Another 10.
Another 10 on that one? Why do you like the design so much?
Well, if anyone watches any John Hughes movie, you'll know he tries to do every movie he can in Chicago because he loves that city and it's his love letter to the city. He just loves Chicago.
Yeah. I get that.
And it's like, they went all out to make it, even though when they started filming, it was after Christmas, they had to get all that kind of Christmas decor and go shopping for Christmas stuff to make it Christmassy.
True.
Oh, yeah.
Because a fun fact, actually, I don't know if you guys ever watched behind the scenes for the movie, but when they were doing the airport scene and called the treehouse scene, one, the production crew had to make that treehouse from scratch.
Wow.
And two, Chicago O'Hare Airport, Christmas just being over, they had already taken down their Christmas display. They got a nice little paycheck for putting them back up for those couple of hours. It's like, how many airports would actually do that for a small paycheck
just
just to
supposed to get,
promote
like, biscuit to us?
a quick snippet of an airport?
Yeah.
Oh, no worries.
Totally.
That's
So
good.
it's a 10 because it's basically another love letter to Chicago from John Hughes.
That is true. Also, yeah, we discussed, and we had the quickest 10s we've ever had on this show.
I mean for music?
Yeah, John Williams.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, that just say JW automatically gives you a 10.
Sounds like he retired, though.
Uh,
Alright, but
Well, from
what
Star
about...
Wars, he retired. He retired from Star Wars, but not movies in general.
Okay, good, thank God. What about, what would you give the rating for the design, right, guy?
I'd have to give it a 10 as well. Everything was
Yeah, it was.
perfect. The house was beautiful. The traps were simple but effective.
Dangerous.
Yeah, and the whole branding bit that was delightful.
Still, I'm surprised those two didn't die from some of the traps that kid made.
Yeah, and again, the electric faucet. Oh,
Yeah.
God. Oh, and the kerosene in the toilet. The kerosene in the toilet. Good God.
That was part 2, not part 1.
That was part. Yeah.
That was part 2, though. Yeah.
Part,
But that was still.
part
That was
1, it
still
was the
beautiful.
flamethrower at the back door.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
still beautiful.
What about you? All right, Dr. Death. What about you? What do you think of the design, and what will be your score?
Well, I think the design is basically going to be a 10,
Yeah.
like everybody else, because I love the trap set the kids set. I love how freaking dangerous every trap was. Oh my God. You know those paint cans at the basement? When
Oh,
they're trying
God.
to come just
Okay, I actually got hit by a paint can once. It hurts.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
I believe it.
You guys just made me remember this too. Another fun fact about some of those traps: the part where Marv goes through the window and with all the decorations on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
That's not actually glass. That was crystallized sugar. They actually got in from a bakery that made them look like glass
Nice.
decorations.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I
cool.
hear a lot of movies do that when they, like, if they're in a bar fight scene and they need to break
Yeah.
a bottle over someone, they'll
Use
get
candy.
that done, so it'll break easily, but it won't hurt a lot.
Not in. Yeah, it won't hurt as much as an actual bottle does.
Yeah, I remember seeing this description in action on I can't remember if it was Late Night with Conan O'Brien or Conan on TBS, but he was talking to one of his guests, and she had brought in some candy glass
Oh,
props,
nice.
and while she was looking around at one of them, he got an evil look on his
Uh-oh.
face and proceeded to bonk her on the head with the candy glass, and I thought that was funny. And,
Personally,
and
I would love to be
after
hit
all
by
that,
one of those
it just
candy bottles.
reminded me.
But yeah, honestly, though, for the design of the film, I'm gonna give it a freaking 10 because honestly, a lot of the practical effects were incredibly were used in the best way in the film, and not to mention the sets of the traps, the house itself, and not to mention the overall Christmas feeling. Even though it's gonna be filled with a bunch of violence, haven't seen a movie like that since Die Hard. But however, people died in that film.
Oh,
But-
you know the other Christmas movie people died in?
Oh yeah, trust me.
Santa's Maze.
Oh dear sweet God. One of these days we will do those reviews. One of these days.
like Kevin said, he has to protect his house.
All right, so here we go. We're now we're gonna be doing the final part of Home Alone, the atmosphere, and the atmosphere of the film. There's no question, it's Christmas.
Yeah, the Christmas aspect was great.
Yeah, but not to mention it was one of those films that kept straight to it. Honestly.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I thought Christmas was the perfect venue for this anyway to forget your kid, because with all the planning and with everything that goes on, you can get so totally distracted from it anyway.
Very true.
So, and you really think for the size of their family, they had a large family. You know, I thought that was the perfect venue for it.
Very true. Very true.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you guys give the score for atmosphere of this movie?
I would say, I would say, I'm just gonna go with 10.
All right.
Who's in the background?
That's
That's another critic.
Yeah, those are the bigwig critics.
oh Lord, those
They just
dogs.
I understand, man. What about you, Phoenix Fire?
10.
10?
Because if you think of it, it's supposed to be a comedy movie, but then it's just from being a comedy right up to the very end, when it shows you it actually is a family movie, because Kevin realized he shouldn't have made that wish about his family being gone and all that, and he regrets his words, and he realizes how much family means to him. So it goes from being comedy to a really loving family movie at the end, because it's like, wow, it's like you just want to start crying, like your heart gets really tugged at. Who wants to tug at your strings? Because Christmas movies are supposed to be somewhat emotional, and you don't really, well, you do see it in movies, but not any of the later ones, but the older ones. It's like you finally get to see those kind of heartbreaking moments. Like, it's like, this is a feel-good movie. I want to watch this every year.
True.
Right.
What about you, Dr.
That's how I
Jeff?
look for Christmas. I say a 10 as well, because I agree with Phoenix Fire and Rye Guy about the freaking movie and all, the ending. Oh my gosh, when they found out they left Kevin home all alone by himself, it brought the whole family back together. It was just like icing on the cake. It was like emotional and comedy, and oh my gosh, it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And, yes, that's how Christmas movies are supposed to be.
Yep.
I believe.
There we go.
And the part that I like about the movie in total is it's where he was watching this film about what was
Angels with Filthy Souls.
Oh,
Yeah.
I told you, I've watched this movie so many times. I know quite a bit. So I'm a nerd, okay? So you gotta sue me.
No worries.
You're not gonna get much out of me.
Hey, guess what? I'm the one with the freaking pens in his pocket. I'm the nerd. Anyway,
All right.
I like the part where he was ordering a pizza all to himself. So he put the camera, like his phone, right by the door, and he said, "I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your yellow belly, no good t-shirt off my porch before I pump your guts full of lead. 1, 2, 10."
Oh yeah, I gave a 10. I have also gave a 10 myself. So here we go. All right, so final scores. Out of the two, Phoenix Fire and Dr. Death, while both of you did start out with a 50, while Phoenix Fire remained at the same score, you dropped by 2 points. It's 48.
Yeah, because of how the mom acted in the movies.
Yeah.
It was my main reason.
All right, here comes Rye Guys. His was 47, and now it's 48. So yours went up a score.
All right.
And
Not bad.
mine was a 45 going to a 49, so mine went up 4.
Wow.
So that's already saying a lot. All right. Next, of
You know what would be
course.
interesting before we start Home Alone 2? You know what would be pretty cool? Before we all heard of post-credit scenes or whatnot, if they did one for Home Alone.
That is true.
I would have loved a scene called, like, say, I'm doing the credits, and then like a post-credit scene where you see Kevin having a one-on-one with his mom and telling her about the wet bandits and what he went through. And
Oh,
like
yeah.
why the house is kind of damaged and why his brother's room looks like a cyclone hit. That would have been an interesting credit scene, especially just to see Kevin have a one-on-one with his mom to tell her what
Honestly,
happened. Missing
yeah.
her.
Honestly, that would have made it more funny, honestly, for the
No, I
ending,
think-
because...
I think she would have been understanding, but when she tries to tell her husband, the father, and then the rest of the family, it's like they just don't believe it. Like, he was home alone. That didn't happen.
Yeah, whatever he said, don't believe him.
So yeah.
Just
Though I think they would have seen the cop cars at that point, though.
No,
Yeah,
the cop
true.
cars were long gone. Don't forget the cops left in the
Oh,
middle
yeah.
of the night after he tortured them.
oh yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
Don't
good point,
forget,
yeah.
Kevin did clean up the house a little bit, so it wasn't a complete disastrous when they came back.
Oh, and the dad did find the gold tooth.
Yep, he found Harry's gold tooth.
So, that could have...
The only other damage we know is Buzz's room. They don't know anything else that happened in the house.
Yep.
I
Alright.
wonder how much money they got off the gold tooth.
They could have gotten at least something. Anyway.
Yeah.
It is time for us to start Home Alone 2. And, okay, if you guys want me to be honest, I'm I'm not a big enough fan for Home Alone 2.
I'm not
But
that
it's
big of a
not
fan of
hateful.
Home
It's
Alone.
not like I hate this movie. It's just I feel like it's a little underwhelming compared to the first one.
I
It's
think
like
it's
they were-
more
Even though they had a
aligned
great
with,
star-studded cast.
It's like they were hired just as soon as they found out part one was a success. Like, let's just do a sequel. Let's cash in on it while it's popular.
Oh, trust me, they
Okay.
kept doing sequel after sequel, and now there's a new one.
Because how many times have they done that for Star Wars? They've cashed in on its popularity just to keep it going.
True, but at least there was a method to their madness. Well, when it comes to the first 6 movies, the last 3, no, that was just Disney being dicks. But yeah, you get what I mean, though. All right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Well, in defense of Part 3, Part 3 wasn't actually that bad compared to the other ones.
yeah, all right, so
I haven't seen part 3.
Part 3 it's just as funny as with Macaulay Culkin and all them, but different family.
Yeah, I remember.
It's dysfunction, just as dysfunctional.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing part 3 for the first time when I was a little kid.
Right?
I remember watching that film, and I swear to God, I still don't know why Roger Ebert gave a freaking thumbs up for that. I don't get why.
Because it was a different family, different aspect of why the criminals are being thieves.
It is literally the same plot as the first movie. At least with
Well,
the
it
second
is-
movie,
it
they
is
changed
a
some
movie.
up
Well,
a little
the-
bit.
I think the problem you had with the second movie is that the fact that
It's too much of the first.
Well, no, the second movie, when you take a look, when he goes to New York and all these other different things, right?
Yeah, I like that part.
I know, but I think what happened is with like in 2 and stuff is that instead of kind of making it somewhat original, the cameos and all these other different things that they had in there was supposed to kind of make up for it, which kind of took away for what it is. They tried to make it like sophisticated. It's kind of like when you went from Beverly Hills Cop 1 to Beverly Hills Cop 2, you saw the huge change in the main character. That's what this was, and I don't think it should have been a big change from it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say?
Yeah.
True. All right. So, what would you guys say you think is your overall score going to be for Home Alone 2?
I would say about the same as the first.
So, 47?
Yeah.
All right. Freaking hell, this stupid pen. All right, so
Sorry guys, now we know what to get Retro for Christmas, a pack of pounds.
Honestly,
Unfortunately, it has a box.
actually, I could really use a new notepad now because this thing's running out of room.
which is really nice.
Alright, you guys, let's go to the dollar store. See how fast we can all get.
No, it's called the
Notepad.
$1.25
I'm
store
on my
now.
way.
It's
All right,
called the $1.25 store now. Let's
Okay,
get right.
okay. First,
Yeah.
all right, first, God bless it. Phoenix Fire, what do you think your total score is going to be for Home Alone 2?
45.
45? Okay. What about you,
There's no
Dr.
reason
Death?
why.
Dr. Death's score is going to be probably around 40.
40. I am going to go and give it a 35.
I'm being summoned. I shall be right
No
back.
worries. What is your... All right, so here's a question for you guys. What was your first exposure to Home Alone 2?
Well,
Just like. Alright, you can speak.
okay. My first exposure to Home Alone 2 is the same as Home Alone 1. Like, I was in high school, and we all had a free day, so my teacher decided to let us watch some Christmas movies because it was in Christmas. It was, like, towards the end of the, it was, like, you know how they have their Christmas break?
Yeah?
Basically, it was the last day of the school, and then it was Christmas break. So in my class, they decided to watch Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2. And that was my first exposure to both Home Alone 1 and 2. And this was in middle school, my bad. Middle school.
Yeah, for me, my first exposure to Home Alone 2 was actually when I was a little bit older. I didn't actually watch the second movie until I think I turned around 11 or 12. And I honestly thought it was a good movie at first, but now that watching it again, I don't know. I felt like it was a little bit of a disappointment, but that was just me after watching it after I got older. What about you, Phoenix Fire?
I think it was either in sometime either I can't remember if it was in school or I remember watching it on VHS because someone in the family wanted me and my sister out of the way, and they just put on the VHS and told us go watch the movie and shut up and all that kind of thing.
Nah.
It's like
Yeah, I gotta duck out. My family came by to decorate the tree.
Oh, okay.
Alright. So, see you later,
Right.
dudes.
See you later.
Alright, peace out, broski.
Merry in the words of Home Alone, Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Okay. All right, so it looks like Ryan will not be able to join us for the rest of the review. Sucks, but unfortunate. Hey, come on. You're celebrating Christmas. It's December, for God's sake.
Kind of have to.
I would. Heck, I would.
It's to be expected.
Yeah, honestly, I forgot to decorate my Christmas tree this year, and, well, freaking hell, I'm feeling the consequences of that. So...
We need to get on that after the review.
True.
I got the tree up and I got the lights on, but we're not decorating it. Because where we got it, we can't decorate it. It's in the corner by the balcony door. Can't do much.
True. All right, so we're going to start off just like before, story and all that stuff. So we don't really need to worry about recapping. So we'll first start with story. And this is where I believe that there is a bit of a disappointment on this one. Like I said, the story itself is way too much of a rehash. But at the same time, there are enough changes to make it itself a little bit more of its own thing compared to the others. So I think that's fine for a sequel.
Yeah.
But still same premise and overall theme of the story.
What would your score be?
Will my score be? I would say maybe an 8 overall for me, though. But that's just me.
Okay.
I would give it an 8 personally. What about you guys?
Phoenix Fire?
Okay. All right, I'll give it a 10 because as much as like you say it's a rehash of part 1, but the difference is he's in a different place. He's not home. He's in a whole new location. He has to adapt to his environment. He didn't expect that to happen, but it did. Because him being the cocky little ass he is, because how he is with his family at the holidays.
True.
True.
It's nice to see him outside of his comfort zone of Chicago and just seeing what it's like to be a grown-up and trying to survive in the real world, of all places, New York.
True.
New York!
Yeah, for me, I would probably give it a 7, on it. And the reason why I would give it a 7 is the fact that even though that it did showcase him in another city and stuff like that, you know what I mean? I really thought that it just didn't have the same, like, a pack a punch, I guess you would say.
What would be your overall score then?
My overall score is going to be kind of low on this particular one. I'm going like maybe 42.
Wow, you're merciful compared to me.
I know, but I mean, it might even be lower than that. But the reason why that I'm going with the 7 is the fact that you have it's nice to see, but I really think that the hotel and the venue itself was a little bit, I don't know, I just, for some reason that story just did not connect, did not resonate with me at all, actually. You know what I mean? And I agree with Phoenix Fire that they did do, it was different. He was out of his comfort zone, but he almost seemed like he was an autistic, in a lot of different things. The way he used to do things, he's very structured, very
this one made him just seem like a total jerk.
Well, I think the problem is that he tried to make it himself, because once he understood that they're going to do what he says, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're getting paid well to do it, then he's going to be able to get away with certain things. But I still believe that it just was not endearing, not like the first one.
True.
I mean, when you start taking a look, when I think of Home Alone, I'm thinking of a home and alone, not necessarily an apartment, and not a hotel.
True.
That's just my thought. And with that thought, I'll probably give it a 6.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right, so 6. What about you, Phoenix Fire? Oh wait, I already asked you.
I guess I did when I said
Dr. Death.
Dr. Des is unable to take your call at this moment. Please leave a message after the beep. Beep! Just kidding. But anyways, I'm gonna say I'm actually gonna give it a 5. No, I'm just gonna say. I mean, like you said, Retro, it's too much of a repeat. Basically, you have him alone. He's alone. Okay. Their family leaves him again for the second time, and he's not in a house. He's in a hotel.
I think they would have learned their lesson the first time.
I mean, I don't like it. Huh?
It's basically like they should have learned from the first time he went. They went and left him behind.
I mean,
what the hell?
In some ways, I think they did learn that lesson, but not fully.
Well,
they left him at the airport.
Here's more reason why.
Actually, that's his fault. He gets left behind at the airport.
Here's more reason
you can't blame the family for that.
I think the problem. I think all of us think the problem is that when you go up there and you're starting to talk about Home Alone, right?
The parents are idiots.
You kind of want to be looking at it as Home Alone. I mean, the thing is could you just imagine if they brought in a different set of characters and he had to do a different set because they brought in you can still have done this at home, I think, and I think that you would, as long as you brought in different characters to be the bad guys and stuff like that. You know, you can also went up there and tried something totally different. You could have made a whole series out of that, of just going up there. How badly can we torture the bad guys?
That's true.
Yeah.
I agree with Master Chief on that one. And that's the part of the reason why I gave it a 5.
All right,
also,
so 5.
I still think it's a 5 for the reason is A, they're not in a house, they're in a hotel. B, the environment feels too familiar. I think they could have gone for a different environment. I mean, I understand the hotel, different environment. Okay, let's make it happen. But I'm going to be tough on this one because I think if you want to repeat something, don't make it that close to the real thing. Make it like have a little bit of a repeat, but a lot of something different. So
for me, it's more.
That's why I'm saying 5.
For me, the only reason was that I think we've already seen New York way too many damn times to count. I'm not even joking. The place has been blown to bits. It has been subjugated to alien invasion, and that's just the start. And it's already dealt with kaiju. So we already are. So New York's already been through enough. We don't need a psychotic kid that has the ability to make traps out of anything, causing massive havoc in the city of New York already. So
and you forgot,
why can't we just put it like somewhere in Houston, Texas, or something? For God's sake!
And you forgot Godzilla.
That's why I was talking about kaiju.
Kaiju, yeah.
But yeah, let's just say that's a situation. Hopefully, New York stops getting.
There's also
invaded.
another reason too why it was in New York too. Because this was at the time Macaulay Culkin was getting older, and this was about roughly before he stopped doing movies as a kid because he was tired of being a kid actor. And
True.
They were just like they just wanted to accommodate him, and that's why. And he lived in New York at the time, so he didn't want to have to fly here, there, everywhere to film. And they basically just accommodated him, like, okay, we'll bring the movie to you, and we'll do it where you want. They pretty much wanted to do what he wanted.
True.
Yeah, true. That is true.
That didn't help too. It's like, okay, we got a spoiled brat. He doesn't want to fly out here or there. So let's just accommodate him and get him to do this movie. We'll give him a good paycheck if we do what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple months after that, Macaulay Culkin basically dropped off the face of the earth. We didn't see him for how many years?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely over a decade.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think he was trying to, at some point, disassociate himself with his child acting, so he could be more of an adult actor. But once you have that high level of popularity, it's very hard
to get it back.
And I think that's the reason why he also did The Good Son. And you start taking a look at some of his choices, and you can see that he was desperately trying to get out of the goody two shoes, that type, and so he can be able to transition into different roles.
True.
Yeah, true.
All right.
I'm sure he wanted to enjoy a stroll on New York and not be mobbed by people.
Well, that's true
Just for
too.
being,
Yeah,
he wants to be known just for one character.
That is
How
true.
many celebrities in this day and age who wants to be just known for one role in your whole movie career?
Very
You
true.
want to be
very
known for
true.
other things.
All right, so we're next going to take a look at characters. Now, this is Home Alone 2. A lot of the original cast does return. But then we get some new people on here, like Rob Schneider's in this film.
He's
Tim
a
Curry.
Good, he's a good comedic actor.
Yep,
Rod
Tim
Schneider.
Curry. Tim
Oh,
Curry.
Tim Curry is. I just love the man. He's awesome.
And
doesn't
if
love
any of
Tim
you guys
Curry?
don't know who Brenda Fricker is,
I know. Just kidding, I do.
I swear.
Brenda Fricker, I think that's the pigeon lady.
The what?
Brenda Fricker's the pigeon lady, I think.
Pitching lady.
Pigeon.
Oh, Pigeon Lady. Yes, she is.
You know the lady
Yes.
with the birds?
Yes. But she also happens to be an actress in the movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, as well as the very reason I started playing baseball.
Oh,
Angels in the Outfield. She plays the foster mother.
Yes.
But yeah, she's also in the film as well. But she's
Dana
still.
Ivy.
What?
Dana Ivy was in it. Best known as Margaret from Addams Family and Family Values.
Yep. We also had. Let me see. Who else is also in here? Jedediah Cohen.
Hey, Jedediah.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting people in this film. It's unbelievable.
And a few of the roles were recast because some of the original actors or actresses couldn't come back for it.
Yep. So it's pretty cool to see a lot of
Like
the original
Lenny,
actors
like
return.
the sister Lenny.
Yep. It's really awesome to see a lot of the original cast return. It's pretty awesome, honestly.
Yeah.
So I'm willing, if you want me to give my personal opinion on this one, I'm giving the characters a 10. Because they did have an amazing star-studded cast, and all of them did do their roles very well.
Yes, I could say the same thing.
I could say the same.
Go ahead.
I was just agreeing. I said I could say the same thing.
Yeah.
So definitely a 10 then for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. Sometimes you can't fault those characters for the story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes the actors are going to do it as best they can to go up there and really, because they get paid well, so
That's true.
they're going to give it a very excellent go at it right over there. Now,
True.
just mind you, just because I thought the story was not necessarily
Yeah.
a good thing, but the characters actually did a really good job. I mean, they're the constant professionals. That's what I will say.
True. What about you,
Yeah.
Phoenix Fire? What about your score for characters?
I give it a 5. Everyone was great, but there's one reason why I give it 5. I knocked 5 off. That damn cameo by damn Donald Trump. I'm sorry.
Donald
Really,
Trump was
just
not in that
because-
film.
Yes, he was. He
was?
Yes.
Just because here's the
I'm
thing.
shocked.
Just because they were using he owned the Plaza Hotel at the time, and they needed permission to film there. And
Oh.
he told them, "Oh, I have to have a cameo in my own hotel just for self promotion." Like, really, dude?
Well, again,
You're
he's a
gonna
businessman.
literally-
You would expect that.
You're gonna-
He's a
You're gonna
business-
threaten You're gonna be a bully and threaten the filmmakers if you want to use
That's
my
not-
hotel. You
that's
gotta
not-
give me a.
that-
Okay,
that's
okay,
not
okay.
but-
Phoenix Fire, I'm going to literally tell you this right now. First of all, he's a businessman, so yes, he's allowed to advertise his business, especially since he is one of the people that did partially fund the damn movie. Second, when it comes down to being a business owner like myself, I think I would have done the same thing. I would have asked him, hey, could you please advertise for me? If you do, I'll let you use the area here. I think that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't you say? Not to mention, it means
I
free
like
advertisement
that.
for his business as well as
But-
everybody else.
But we have to go up there.
Here's the thing: is he was being a bully when they were making the movie. He literally insisted he had to have a cameo.
Well, you know,
It's
the
like,
thing is, that's the
that's
first
not
time
right.
I've heard a lot on the set, and I never heard anything from any of the other actors or actresses on there talking about being a bully. So where are you getting your information?
Yeah.
Because
There was a thing I was.
because the reason why I'm saying that is because all the other people say gracious and all these other things, and then now we get a 180 here. So I'm just kind of curious where you're hearing it from.
It wasn't any of the cast. It's a couple of people for the crew.
Well,
I can't
yeah,
remember
but you know what? You know, it's kind of like this. If you're talking about the whole cast, and if the cast didn't have a problem with it at all, and then you have
The
somebody
cast
in the
didn't have
crew,
much to do with them.
No, but the thing is that you know, if he's gracious to everybody, you know, everybody can get rubbed the wrong way just because just like me. Not everybody can take me at face value. going up there, but does it destroy what the film was at this point?
No.
Did his character destroy the film in itself? You know,
you
know what I mean? Because it didn't destroy the film. It was just a cameo, just telling them go that way. That's pretty much what that was his whole cameo. So did it take away from the film?
No.
You know,
Right.
putting a personal bias on something that is not the film doesn't really go up there and explain what the film is to everybody else. You're knocking down a character's 5 for a fact of a 7-second clip based off 2 people that probably had a problem with him because he is a no-nonsense, brash kind of dude. We don't even know what they did to maybe cause him to say something.
True, you're right.
Yeah, you need to start looking from both sides of the playing field.
My point is that this is a movie review, and you never hear any movie reviewers knock something down so far because of something that happened.
Yeah.
You know, like that. They're here to score the movie.
Yeah, for as much as this show is very not necessarily professional, there is one thing that we do say here on this channel for anybody, that we welcome any type of view, no matter what. And that also means no political bias, no religious bias, no racial bias, none of it. None of that exists here on this channel.
Well, and what we want to do...
And I feel like that, and I want to make sure that I let people know that on this channel, because everyone has their own opinions, and I'm always welcome to hear your guys' versions on it. But having that type of thing placed on the review, I feels like it's a little unfair. And that's just my personal view on it.
You know what they always say, don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Very true.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
well, that's true too. But then again, everybody's cover is determined on what narrative you want to listen to.
Exactly.
You see what I mean?
So, yeah.
Yeah. So you really, it's like, you know, everybody. It's kind of like the old opinion. You know, everyone I can't remember how I wanted to phrase it, but without cussing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
unfortunately,
the phrase that he's talking about has a lot of cussing in it.
Yeah, but all I'm trying to say is that, you know, opinions are opinions.
Yeah.
You
So, so what would be your score in this particular case now?
7.
A 7? Okay. That
You guys have... I'll be honest, you guys make a valid argument for everything.
Yeah, trust me,
you know what? I can tell you right now, I don't like Alec Baldwin at all. Can't stand him. You know, if you want to go up there, and I could give you my political opinions on him too, and I can give you a lot. I can reference a lot of things on him.
This is not a political channel.
No. But my point
I know.
is that he's still a great actor. You know what I mean? I'm not going to fault him in his acting abilities right over here because I have a personal problem with him. And I have a political problem with him. But it will not change the fact that I know that when I'm taking a look at it and how this person did in there, I mean, Hunt for Red October, I never got to meet the man. They were filming, actually, the Hunt for Red October when I was stationed up in Port Angeles, Washington. You know, and they brought it up, and we were hoping to see some of the big actors, and if the weather would have did what it was supposed to do, we might have got a chance to see some of the big actors come up, but we didn't, unfortunately. But I'm just
How
saying,
bad was the weather over actually?
Actually, it was normally in the area. It was supposed to be dismal and everything else like that. They had 5 days of blue skies and sunshine. So yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah, so it didn't bode well. But
Yikes.
but it was as I said, it's just one of those things. So as I said, I can go up there and give many examples, but I would never let something right over there cloud my judgment on what we're supposed to be doing.
True. All right, so. Still, now that you guys got all that information, now it's time for us to go on to music. And
Oh boy, Retro's gonna make a big argument. Everybody watch out.
okay, first of all,
Back down the hatches. Back down the hatches. Okay, we're going dog zebra.
I feel like I'm gonna absolutely.
Well, get started. How about this? Why don't we say our
Here's
stuff
the
first?
Here's the thing.
and then
I
we can
can't
go?
argue. It's John Williams.
Oh well, we understand.
It's a freaking 10.
Okay.
I'm here's the thing. It's not because I'm not just a big fan of him. The music is that good. I would recognize it as soon as you play. I'm like, that's Home Alone 2 or Home Alone 1. I could tell. He's that good. There's no question. So what would you guys give it, honestly?
Well, Phoenix Fire, you can go first.
I give it a 9.
Okay.
It's like most of the soundtrack was reused from part 1 into part 2, but
Oh,
it
yeah,
wasn't-
good
there
point.
wasn't- also
Shoot.
another thing too. They didn't really put more music into part 2 like they did in part 1.
Yeah,
Part
I'm
2, I
actually gonna
noticed
drop it.
They really cut back on quite a bit.
Yeah.
Sure, they introduced a couple Christmas songs and whatnot, but they really cut back on the instrumental soundtrack. It's like,
Yeah, that is very true.
And
It's like-
normally
it's-
you use that music to go up there and really heighten scenes and stuff like that too, which probably
Or emphasize the
didn't happen.
emotion of the characters. Heck,
it's like they
yeah.
put the music only when it was crucial.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted us to hear it.
True.
Other than that, they just wanted us to just follow along with the story. They didn't really want to.
Oh, I see.
Emphasize
I see
certain
what you're
things.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like Martin O'Donnell and Michael Salvatore with the Halo soundtrack. Even though that you see some scenes with Master Chief, and yet he looks like he has a lot of body language, but yet you could tell from the music what he's going through, and that is a pretty amazing thing.
And I like what Phoenix Fire said. So instead of us experiencing the movie, they kind of guided us through the movie instead of experiencing the movie.
Shit.
You know what I mean? Did I get that right, Phoenix Fire?
Yes.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I kind of got what you're saying there too, because I didn't quite catch it, but you're right, because the other one you had to kind of like look at the scene, it kind of set the scene, it kind of set everything in motion. Here you never really got a chance to set the scene; it just guided you to what the scene was going to be about.
Yeah. So what would you give the score for music? Also,
9. Well, John Williams is always really good, but the music the music has got to be with that, and it's not necessarily John Williams did a bad job. I think that
I think it was everyone else.
I think the direction of the director telling John Williams how he wanted the music to go. So honestly, I'm gonna be kind of critical on this one and give it a 7.
7. All right.
Because it's got to complement the film, it's got to complement it, but it's really hard when you want to look at the whole film, but they're guiding you to where you need to go instead of you going there. And actually, I'll make that a 6 because that's not good filmmaking in a sense right there.
Yeah. What about you, Dr. Death?
5.
Wow.
Wow, he's harsher than you right now.
Well,
The reason why behind that is because, well, I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad direction for the director. But I had a feeling, a freaking inkling, that they could have put a lot more of different types of music in there. I mean, I understand he is a really good. It's a good soundtrack. I like it, but I think they could have added a lot more music and a lot better choices to where they're gonna use it, how they're gonna use it, and giving a lot more variety to the music.
Yeah, I'm actually going to
So,
revise my
that's-
score. I'm going to revise my
Huh?
score. I'm going to drop it to a 7 because at this point, yeah. Because here's the thing. It's not because of John Williams. John Williams, the only reason why this thing even has a 7 is because of him. All the rest of the score, though, didn't do as well. And as a result, it didn't necessarily go as well as you'd expect.
I bet you if you listen to it as a soundtrack on its own without listening to without watching the movie,
It's great.
Everybody would probably absolutely enjoy the music that's there.
Mhm.
But as part of
Yeah.
the movie thing,
It didn't work out as well.
It didn't work out as well, and I think it's because probably the director just probably didn't understand what he had in John Williams, which I don't understand how you cannot.
And yet he managed to work it so well in the first movie.
Well, yeah, I know, but
Unless if it was direct. Hold on, I've got to double check. But I was wondering if
well,
he
the
directed someone
thing
else.
is that I like a movie in the music that complements.
No,
so
it was directed by someone else.
That's what I said. It
Chris
went
Columbus.
It went a totally different direction.
And the cat just literally darted out of
Out
there.
the door, yeah.
All right,
There
so
it goes.
and now she's back. What the hell is wrong with you, cat? All right, so
Hyperactive?
also, Phoenix Fire, you there, buddy?
You there,
Yeah.
Phoenix?
All right,
Yep.
there we
Yep,
go.
I'm here. I just
Alright,
went to the bathroom quick.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. I'm so
I
sorry.
was wondering why I heard, "Oh my God, I wish I would have ate more ice cream." Is that what you were saying?
No.
Also,
I
Dad.
didn't know I'd go back. I'm like, okay, me and my mic for a minute, so just bear with me.
Actually, I
Oh,
think I
okay.
did have alcohol in my drink last time.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going right into design, and again, choosing the theme of New York is, I think, a little stale. It's been done so much in movies, all the way from the early 1930s to now, and it's gone old. They should do other locations instead of freaking New York City. I think we've all had enough of New York City. But again, that's just personally me. I don't mind the city at all. It's a great city, but I think we've had too many films that were placed in that one location entirely. And I think
that location's basically been bombed with too many of those.
here's a way of doing a New York City movie. Hey, put the city here, drop a bomb in it, wipe out everyone out. Now go to the next town. I'm sorry. I've just gotten sick and tired of seeing New York City. I know that city by heart, not just from the movies, but from freaking being there. So I don't even have to know which way to go to get to which location at this point.
Yeah.
Heck, the only exception was freaking American Tail, and that's the only exception I'm ever gonna give. Because one, it's animated, and two, it was back during the early. Late 1800s to early 1900s. So, yeah. But overall, though, some of the areas were pretty cool, and of course, some of the locations were pretty nice. But other than that, though, I would say I would give it maybe a 6. Honestly, it's a little bit of a disappointment for what it's worth. What about you, Dr. Death?
Well, I'm gonna say a 6 as well because I agree with you, Retro. New York is stale. They basically played it dry. So they need to either move on to a different freaking city or just they just need to move on to a different city. I mean, New York, I felt like I've been there. I have not, but I felt like I've been there throughout all of the freaking movies I've watched. Yeah, New York is done. Just drop it. Just move on to like Arizona or freaking Michigan or do one of those.
Or heck, do a story in Canada.
Or anywhere.
Or exactly anywhere.
You know, this thing could have gone anywhere, really, when you start talking about locations. This is not, you could have actually went up there and actually did it right now, but we'll get to the retroaction, so I'm going to leave it for the retroaction here. But what I'm saying is that the location could
Retroevolution.
Retroevolution, I'm sorry. The retroevolution. So, but what I'm saying is it could have been anywhere. I mean, when you're talking about the design, there was a lot of really great parts to it. I mean, really is. If you take away the staleness of New York, right over there, the actual design of everything was actually very, very good. It wasn't like, it was a typical New York setting. It didn't matter if your sleep was in Seattle, it didn't matter about all those other things right there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying is that New York will always have this grandioso, bigger than life, what it is, like the whole thing with Frank Sinatra. So Frank Sinatra goes up there, it's New York,
Oh, yeah.
So when you start thinking something like that, but the thing is, you also got to go back to, it is New York, and I'm gonna be probably a little nicer than the both of you and give it a 7.
All right.
And the only reason why I'm giving it a 7 is because of the fact that I agree with both of you about could you have picked a different city, but there was still a lot of great things that you still saw on the screen. It was beautiful. I mean, everything was. So I'm going with the 7 on this particular.
All right. What about you, Phoenix Fire? What are your thoughts on the design, and what is your score?
I'd give it an 8 because I agree with all you guys. It could have been somewhere else, and they could have focused on another setting because New York is overused. But
yes,
another reason I give it an 8. They could have showed us other locations in New York, not just.
Yeah,
that is true. Yeah, there's a lot of cities in New York that would do really well. Albany is another good location.
All they highlighted was all the tourist attractions, like where you go if you're a tourist.
That's true.
Like,
basically, it's like freaking advertisement.
Parts of New York.
it almost like they went to the city, to the Commerce, you know what I mean, the Department of Commerce there in New York, and say, if we're going to make a movie, what do you want us to highlight?
Exactly.
And the Congress
It's like
said
Friday-
What was
There's
that?
distraction.
It's like it's kind of like Friday the 13th Part 8 when Jason takes.
Oh
Oh.
God, no! I hate that movie. Fuck that movie.
Dude,
Oh God, if you guys don't even know my hatred for that one.
you'll probably agree because all they do in that movie is show Times Square. They
Yes,
don't show us anything
yes.
else for New York.
It's bullshit.
So it's like-
I agree with Phoenix Fire on this. So yeah, that was that. Yeah, Freddie. Yeah.
So it's like
that was
that
Friday,
movie's a
yeah.
good example too. It's like they could have showed. I get because of filming and restraints and
Yes.
all that whatnot. They could have tried to show a bit more of New York than just what we've seen.
You know what would have been
Yeah, like,
neat?
show-
You know what would have been
Show
neat if
something
they
that we
would've went to
haven't seen
Lake
for New
Placid.
York.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If they would have went to Lake Placid, you know, I think that would have been a nice place.
Actually, yeah, but here's the thing. When I hear Jason Takes Manhattan, I expect a poster with him along with a bunch of Muppets. I don't know. I
Yeah, I
just
can't see that happening anytime soon for
the only
for-
reason
for
the
a
only
movie.
reason why is that when me and my friends were talking about what would be a funny crossover, one of my friends finally stated, "Hey, dude, what about Friday the 13th and the Muppets? Jason Takes Manhattan." I swear to I wanted to punch him so much right now.
But that would have been funny. So what they should have did that as kind of like at the end credits to have something like that on there. That I mean, people would just go on to the movie just to watch the credits.
That is true. But
'Cause it's like when Marv says about for Harry, oh, you promised to take me to the Central Park Zoo. Instead of seeing them plan them robbing the toy store, why not see them plan robbing the toy store when they're at the zoo together?
oh,
Yeah,
'Cause it's
yeah.
for the
That's
zoo.
true.
true.
That would have been something to focus on.
That's true.
So why not? Why couldn't you do it there?
Yeah.
That would have been a good. That would have been good right there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, and now we're gonna go finally into atmosphere. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna be really harsh. It's gotta be a 3. Look, here's the thing. The Christmas feel is there, but everything else just doesn't fit. I don't know. Like I said, the music hits when it needs to, but I feel like that it almost took too much away from Christmas, and mainly just a kid just traveling New York. If it's supposed to be a Christmas movie, you make it a Christmas movie. You don't just literally waste your time with all this frivolity.
I probably would give Atmosphere a 5, and my reasoning is that it's still, if you still go back to design and stuff like that too, you go back to parts of the story, you go back to parts of, well, basically the characters is what makes it memorable. It's what makes it, that's the reason why I think all of us gave the characters a good high score. And the reason why is because I believe that the characters, what really kind of brought the story about. But could the characters save it? No, because the story didn't allow it. I liked how everybody was talking about, even though it's very stale being in New York, but you could have leveraged it a lot better. Like, I like the one, plan it at the zoo and actually do it, doing it in different parts right over there to make it seem like wasn't so much production,
True.
And when you start taking a look even at the design, as like I said, there's still a lot of beautiful parts. But when you talk about the overall experience of the film, all I can tell you is that the characters and the music saved it to a point. I really believe right now, I'm actually really kind of putting it on the director on this one. The director had an opportunity to really make it more than what it is, and he kind of pigeonholed it
Yeah.
into a really bad spot. So that's the reason why I'm giving it a 5.
All right. What about you, Phoenix Fire? What would your score be and why?
I give it a 6.
A 6? Oh wow, that's his lowest score so far.
Okay, one.
But
We already know
Kevin's atmosphere.
We know Kevin's going to be home alone.
Yes.
We already
yes.
established that. When they told us who for the cast and all that, when the opening credits came up for the cast and who's in it, we already knew. Okay, it's about the McAllisters again. Kevin's going to be home alone again. It's like, obviously, something's going to happen. And
True.
two, it's like, okay, we got it, it's a Christmas movie, but how commercial do you really need to push to tell us it's a Christmas movie with all that Christmas crap?
I love that part. Commercial. I love that.
Yeah,
It's like literally,
that was the
we-
best.
we
That's
already
the
know
best
it's-
word.
yeah. The movie was
already know
literally
it's
a
gonna be
giant
about-
commercial.
Yeah.
You already know it's gonna be about Christmas, so it's like, how much Christmas like the lights and whatnot, how much stuff do you have to push down our throats to make us understand this
Oh.
is a Christmas movie? Do you really have to shove it down our throat to tell us that?
Yeah. Also, this actually kind of advertisements for Pepsi, freaking 7-Eleven, Sears. I'm like, good lord, that whole scene was like a literal advertisement. This is like what the whole movie Home Alone 2 is.
Oh, well, and you got to remember too. Let's go back to the era of movie. Let's go back to the year. Okay, and if you start taking a look at all the other films, like you got the Miracle on 34th Street, you know, a lot of those types, you saw a lot of something that was like that. You know what I mean? So it was an advertising gold mine, I guess you would say, at this point, because not only that movies back then were all feel-good movies, a lot of everything was a feel-good movie at the point.
True.
So, but a lot of it was commercialized because they made sure that they released it at the same time that it was right in the height of the actual.
Yeah.
Holidays.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. What about you, Dr. Death? What would be your score?
I wasn't quite done yet, but okay.
Oh no.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Another
Beach
thing
Fire?
too, how was also commercial? We all knew his family was going to be a bunch of pricks to him. Like, really? Couldn't they try to make them adapt or be somewhat improved from what happened in the year
Yeah.
before?
Learn from the
Like-
mistake of the first movie.
Like, okay, we already get it. His uncle's an asshole. We get it. Uncle Frank really doesn't like Kevin. But do we have to really be told that by him being an ass with him and all that? By laughing at his own nephew?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I get not all families are close and whatnot, but at the same time, like, the last movie, Uncle Frank kind of showed concern about Kevin. This time it's like, oh, what happened to you at the pageant was so damn funny. I don't care what happens to you, and you better not ruin my trip. Like,
Wow.
really?
Yeah.
Didn't you learn your lesson? What happened to your nephew from the last movie?
Yeah.
True.
True.
And if you want it for a commercial, I don't know if you guys ever noticed. Part 1, they really relied on Coke. Part 2 was Pepsi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm done my little rant.
Yeah. I understand your rant, dude. I totally understand. You basically said everything I was willing to say. What about you, Dr. Death? What is your score, and why would you think Atmosphere deserves it?
Well, you guys are going to be surprised about my score. I'm going to actually give it a 10 because.
What?
Well, yeah, listen up, listen to my reasoning. The reason why I give it a 10 because I hear your guys' your rants and your debates, but I didn't base it on that. I based it on how I felt about it, and I felt it deserved a 10 because, well, even though it's in a place that is getting wore out due to too many movies being in there, I thought it still brought the feeling of Christmas, and that's what a movie's supposed to be about, is Christmas. I do admit they do need to do a lot bit better of where the music is and where they plan their little heist on the toy store, but I still give it a 10 because, well, I love a good sequel, and I love how they give I love the atmosphere of the first one, and I still like the atmosphere. So, hey, I mean, we're all different. We all give different scores,
True.
but this time I'm saying mine is a 10 because, well, of all that. So 10.
The great thing about what this whole categories and what this is about is an atmosphere is how you feel. This is how you feel about the movie, not necessarily how I feel about it or not. What we do is this is how we felt about the movie.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is too, like that, and if you know, and that's what makes the whole RetroActive's corner, the reviews go the way they are.
True.
Is because of the fact that, you know, this is supposed to be how, and the last one here, 5, is kind of almost like the one that you can't determine exactly what it's going to be until it's the end. Now, if you saw, like, here with Dr. Death, he was very critical all the way through, with the exception of the last one.
And the second one.
Well, you know what I mean. But what I'm saying, still critical in the point, but still understood that the atmosphere for it does. For us, for me, you, and Phoenix Fire, you know, if we were taking a look at a Christmas movie, we would have still gave it that, because that's what the movie did for us. You know, that's how we felt about the movie.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like something that I'm taking all 5 of mine and I'm trying to make my score. No, that's not it.
Yeah.
I'm making all of mine right over here, and then I'm determining it. Did it make me feel like Christmas? The first one was a great.
Oh yeah, there's no question.
It was no question. It was just by how it was made it so different than from a lot of other Christmas movies.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. But the second one just did not do nothing like that for me. But it was really great that it did something for Dr. Death.
Yeah.
So I
I think if I was a kid back then, I would have given this easily a 10 back when I was a kid. But now I don't see myself giving it that one. That's the reason why.
I'm really curious.
That's another thing too.
Yeah.
Going back, if you think of it, if you watch this movie as a kid, you're amazed because I've never been to New York. This is my first time seeing New York.
Yes.
I've heard so much about it. This is an amazing city. I want to go here. I want to be like Kevin.
And that is
But
very
now
true.
that now that you've gotten older and you've seen the movie so many times,
And I've actually
you know
been
what
there.
It is exactly like, and you see what you hear and see. It's like it gives you like, do I really want to go here now?
Yeah.
It's just that feeling how we evolve.
And you're right. It was the experiences that, as you were a kid, seeing it for the first time until how you grew up, you know. And I bet you that if you try to go back to when you were a kid and thinking about it,
Yeah.
Now, and I'm going to pose that because I was never a kid during this thing, so I was always an adult. But I'm just going to ask
Well,
you.
for this movie,
how about
yeah.
this? How about this? Just for atmosphere, if you remember it as a kid, what would you give this movie? As a kid.
I'd probably give it a 10 because
I would give it a 10.
as a kid, I'd give it a 10 because it's like, I want to go to New York. I want to see a big ass city. I want to explore and have all kinds of fun. I don't want to be stuck in trap. Like, I want to go for the holidays. I want to enjoy vacation.
I want
away from
room
home.
service.
Yeah.
I want room service.
Damn straight.
You know?
I want all the junk.
Luckily enough, there's a hotel nearby my area, so I could easily just rent a room there, and I actually could do that. But besides the point. But yeah, I think I definitely would have given it a 10 if I was younger.
How about you, Dr. Death?
Still a 10.
Yeah, see.
For the same reason.
Yeah, and I love how you guys all brought it together, because it was your experiences back then of watching you walking down the street, looking at these huge skyscrapers, walking into this really awesome hotel, you know, and going through and seeing things in a kid's paradise.
Yeah.
You know, so for the review in itself, a 10 for when you remembered your childhood memories.
Yeah.
But 10 for Dr. Death, but all of us were below 10 because of experiences that we had right now that kind of changed what it was.
Yeah. All right, so time for the final scores, and then we'll go to Retro Evolution. Phoenix Fire, your original score was 45. It dropped by 5 points.
Wow.
It's now 40.
Wow.
Dr. Death's was originally 40, now down to 36.
I figured that.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. That was a heck of a drop, too.
Yours,
Yeah.
Master Chief, was originally 42, now 34.
Wow.
Mine was 35, ended up as 34. I'm the only one that actually didn't drop by that much at all for the second movie, because I had a sneaking suspicion that was going to be around the score I was thinking I was going to get.
Well,
But to see everybody else's drops as much as they did, that was definitely the shocking part.
Well, I think what it is that if you would, you know, let's say that if we just did childhood memories for you guys.
Oh, childhood memories, it would have been a 45 at least.
I think your guys' score would have been more aligned, because I think what happened was you guys were looking at it through maybe what you remember as a kid when you except for you, but you know, and then now when we were talking about it, everything sets in.
Hold on.
You know, so I'm ready. I have to start Retro Evolution because I'm old and I don't want to forget my thought.
All right.
Okay, so my thing is now if we already discussed being in a different city, right?
Yeah.
But let's do this. Why not this time that they actually make it to their destination, but then they leave them there?
That actually sounds like a better concept than anything I was thinking
You know
of.
what I mean? Like if you would have went to
I'll
New
be right
York.
back, guys.
Okay, if you would have went to New York, and then all of a sudden you left them there as you went back home. Now I think that would have been to me that would have been funny because this time you forgot him at the beginning, but now you forgot him at the end of your Christmas or the end of your vacation.
Yeah. What do you think, Phoenix Fire?
Yeah.
That is interesting, actually. It makes me think. Now I think of let's say, what if, but how about they actually get to enjoy their vacation?
Yes.
And midway through that vacation, something happens, and that's when he gets separated. Like,
Oh,
the family's,
yeah.
So maybe the family's like, okay, for example, the family wants to go see the Empire State Building. They're all there, and it's like he's getting ready to go join them, but then something happens. He runs into Harry and Marv.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like he's got to be quick on his feet to think, okay, my family's not going to believe me from what happened last time about these crooks. How can I get these guys into trouble, and how can I torment them again? By
I'm telling
proving
you,
to my family how that they are existing crooks.
Actually,
I'm not making
you
this up.
want to know
Actually,
what the
how about
hilarious
have the
part-
final fight at the toy store?
Well, here's the part right here that I think is really well. Using the wet bandits as the protagonist in the number 2 would have been perfect because they would have got out, they would have got out of jail and everything else like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they went and they just happened to be in New York doing petty crimes and stuff like that, and then he runs into them. I think what a neat concept that would have been, because it still.
It sounds like the new one.
Yeah.
The only thing is, here's my concept. Basically, they leave him over in New York, and they accidentally drive over to another area, and leave him there. Marv and darn it, what's his other guy's name again?
Oh,
Harry.
Yeah,
Harry, yeah.
yeah.
Marv and Harry, they are in some serious trouble. They're in debt or something, or heck, they owe money to a loan shark. Guess what? They find the kid, but instead they ask for his help in getting rid of him.
Yeah, I can't see that happening. They would have. I think Harry would still be holding the grudge from what happened in the first movie.
Yeah, but you have to admit, though, if it's a loan shark who wants you dead, I think you'd be willing to forgive that kid for what he did and ask for his help.
Okay, after all
live.
what Kevin did to them, I can't see Harry forgiving that anytime soon.
That's true.
He'd be holding that grudge for a long time because Kevin made him lose a gold tooth, and he loved that thing.
Yeah.
Good point. Never mind. Yeah, so that wouldn't have worked. Dang it. Oh well.
Another thing too. What if Harry and Marv, like they were the protagonists? What if they were the ones to set up traps for Kevin and his family to get revenge for what he did to them? They did something in their own twisted way.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That could
It's
definitely
like-
work.
You know what would
'Cause
be
remember,
neat? You want to know what
for
would be
Kevin-
neat? Is that let's say the wet bandits left Kevin own surprise when they got back home.
Right? Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, what type of thing would it be? Would it be like a pie to the face, or would it be an explosion that blows up their house?
No. What I mean is,
It's a family movie. I don't think they would blow up the family.
No, they would arrive in front of their house,
No,
away from
but
the
what I-
blast, but boom.
But what I mean is that he gets away from them the second time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's just say that the whole joke is actually when he gets home. And it's like you said, it's a family movie, so it's not going to be something that's going to be overly, but it's going to be something that goes up there that has him, like, they went up there and they replaced his stuff and they put a water bed in instead of his bed. And what happens is when he jumps into it, he jumps into a thing of water. You know what I mean? To kind of signify we're the wet bandits or something like that. You know? So he knows that they were actually in the house.
True.
You know what I mean?
Another thing that comes to my mind now too, if you think of it, what if the wet bandits took Kevin for insurance? It's like, I'm sure his parents didn't believe him at the end of part 1 when he said they got robbed and whatnot. And then it got to a point like, okay, let's kidnap the kid, and then we'll get in touch with the family, and then making it for a family comedy with him being a bit of a hostage, torturing them whatnot in his own way, but finally proving to the family, like, these guys actually did terrorize us a year ago. I wasn't joking.
Yeah.
It's like,
See, you know, yeah,
like,
because
prove it.
they never really, like, I think you brought this up before, they never really proved anything, you know, that it was
we
because
just have
everything
Kevin.
was done before they got there.
Yeah, if anything, that
Exactly.
he could have explained the whole
just have
situation, and heck, he could have gone to the police station at the end of the first movie, like an after credit sequence, him bringing his family over to the police station, and they confirmed that he went through this crap.
Yeah, there was no closure after that right there, you know, they just, they you know, it was almost like, I don't believe you in the movie.
Yeah.
That's one thing they should have did with part 1 and 2. They should have kind of bridged that the family found out about it. Because we never found out. Did the family ever find out?
Yeah.
Or was it? Did we just have Kevin's traumatic experience as a kid going through this?
And it's
What are
kind
we
of
supposed
funny.
to believe?
Yeah, and now you brought up another. So do we need a Home Alone 1.5?
Yes.
You know, because
Yeah.
you gotta be able to bridge that gap between, you know,
Or
you
heck,
know,
a Home Alone TV show.
or something. You know, something that
Or
goes
just
up there
wondering-
and bridges that
Because
gap.
one of the big thing too. Sorry. Go.
No. It's just basically bridging the gap. You know, it's kind of like, do we really know? But see, the problem was the fact that if you take a look at the second one, you would never known that he got robbed, or, you know, he was fighting off robbers at his house, protecting his house in the first one, because there was really no trauma there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wouldn't you think that
There's
if I
no-
was 8 or 9 years old or some 10, that I would be traumatized at that particular point, you know, with that going on?
Yeah.
Another thing too is like, in part 1, we're told he's 8 years old, and then in part 2, which is only supposed to be set a year later, we're told he's 10. Like, how does he go from being an 8-year-old straight to a 10? Like, did he turn 9 in between the movie
Yeah.
or something? Like,
So
How does that work?
so technically a
Did they lie to us?
1.5 would work.
Or a TV show.
Yeah, that's true.
so
Because remember, they
So
did
this-
the same thing with Star Wars. Remember Star Wars
Yes.
Episode 2 and 3? They did the Star Wars Clone Wars series. That basically bridged the gap between the two movies easy. Alright.
and then they bridged the gap between Revenge of the Sith and the Clone Wars.
Yep, and then they did one for the Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. Yeah. Anyway, we are now going to finally... And here's the thing. You guys... I've looked up all over when I was talking to people, and so far I've gotten one universal question. If you guys were in Kevin's shoes, what would you do?
And
That is the
first of
one
all,
universal
I
question
honestly-
everyone asks. It's weird.
Okay, Phoenix, you go first.
We'll let Dr. Death go first, then Phoenix Fire, then we'll go Master Chief, and then myself.
All right. Well, for one, I would have made the traps more lethal. That way, they would learn not to come to my house. Oh, they won't be messing with me.
They'll be dead.
That nail that Harry stepped on, it wouldn't be a nail. It'd be a straight up knife.
Nah, we're talking family movie.
Oh no, in this particular question, they said anything.
Yeah, that's
It's
true,
family
that's true, that's
friendly.
true, that's true.
They said, yeah, basically throw family friendly out the window if it was you.
And instead of a BB gun, heck, it'd be a kick to the nuts.
Whew.
Or an actual... No, that would make sense.
I'm not that cruel. I'd kick him in the nuts multiple times. And instead of ice, I would spread freaking flammable oil outside on the sidewalk, and then have like a flamethrower in my hand. I'd say, "You better get off my property. You don't want me to light this thing." And just light the freaking sidewalk without them even getting a second chance.
And here's a good question for you though: what if you can't kick them in the nuts? What if you're short like Kevin and you can't exactly reach?
Punch.
How would you pull it off if
Le
them
punch.
restraining you?
You know,
Oh,
it
if
would be
they were
funny.
grading me, I'd have a contraction set up to hit him in the nuts.
Yeah, just like a little teeter-totter type of a thing.
Oh, don't remind me of that
Yup.
instance.
You know, because you could drop something on it and you could go up there and just, hit him with a full force, with like a Johnny Cage ball buster. You know what I mean?
I've actually had that happen to me once. I don't want to relive that.
You sure?
Trust me, I don't. All right, Phoenix Fire, you're next. What would you do if you were in Kevin's position?
I would try to go to an adult or something, like see who would actually believe me for what's going on, like because you know how kids tell those tales or stories, and no, not all adults like to listen to kids. Like you're imagining things, they shrug it off. So it's like I would try to find an adult who would actually believe me in hearing my story, and then of course they say it'd be a battle. Who believes me? Who doesn't believe me?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though.
Like, okay,
Everybody in that entire neighborhood knows what happened.
And no, but I don't think everybody knew what happened until after they got arrested, right?
Yeah.
And after they found out they were burgled.
Yeah, because of their calling card. And if they didn't have a calling card, they wouldn't know. But we can say it like this, though. But do you think Kevin, before they knew anything that was going on, do you think that the neighbors would believe him?
No.
Because, I mean, seriously, let's think about
Maybe.
it. Did the neighbors even know Kevin?
No.
Surprisingly, no. But they would have known about the wet bandits.
No, but at the point, what I'm saying is, I think what he's saying is, during the whole scene, before the cops get there, before anything else, he didn't know they were the wet bandits at the time. But if he had to run to a neighbor, would the neighbor believe him?
I say that's like a 50-50 chance.
It all depends on the neighbor.
Yeah, but if they did, I guess that's the part right there Phoenix Fire is trying to say is that who would believe him, and
True.
now we get back to who would believe him from the family, because we don't even really know.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody? Was there any inkling? Was there any inkling that I that's the one part that I can't remember, and I'm thinking back right now. I can't remember if he said anybody, or did they just blow him off? I'm trying to remember that.
Most likely, I think they would have blown them off for how those people were acting, though.
Yeah,
They
that's
mostly
true.
all shrugged it off.
Yeah, especially
And that's it,
since...
Because it's like, say also he went to the cops. When the cop went to the door to see if he was home alone, and say he tried to tell them what was going on, but the cop believed him too.
If it-
In that era, a lot of times cops would not have believed an 8-year-old because of the vivid imagination that an 8-year-old has.
True. But if he
So
did
that's
have
what
the
I would-
calling card with him,
Yeah, but the
That
thing
would
is,
be
there
a
was
different story.
Yeah, but the point is,
But how would
didn't
Kevin know his neighbors are being burgled? He doesn't know they're being burgled
Exactly.
until the last minute.
But if you took a look at how they looked compared to how Kevin looked, could you actually go up there and prove that there was a burglary that happened?
true.
In a sense, those guys look worse
Just
than
like him.
wear.
It's just like part 3 of Home Alone. The kid calls the cops to tell them that his neighbor's house is being robbed. They go investigate, and then it's like they don't believe the kid in the end. It's like they thought the kid was making up a tall tale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's and that is very Hollywood.
Yeah. So, honestly, yeah. Alright, so what about you? What would you do if you were in Kevin's position?
What would I do if I was in Kevin's position, right? Well, Kevin did a lot of really great things, and stuff like that too. But I think what he should have did was, if anything, is probably after he set everything else up,
Mm-hmm.
is to go up there and go out and get somebody to be able to see it, because a lot these guys weren't going to get out of the house anytime soon.
Yeah.
They got the hell kicked out of them. But you could bring somebody over and said, these guys are in my house. If the minute they saw them in the house, then I can guarantee you people will believe that.
True.
You know what I mean? So that could have worked. That could have worked out there. Then they could explain to the parents, right over here. Mom was already too distraught. She was not going to believe anything and how it came back up anyway because of the absolute guilt that she was in.
Yeah. For me,
Yeah.
oh sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah.
When it comes down to me, I have two versions. One is that if I was in a family film setting like the movie was, I definitely would have stuck with what Macaulay Culkin did in the movie, basically what Kevin did. So there's no real difference. But get rid of the family friendly. I have some ideas. First of all, I would knock those two suckers out. I would tie them up in the basement, and then I would of course put them through excruciating torture like they do in Saw.
Oh,
And that's if you want to turn that
Into a freaking horror film.
Yeah.
Actually, here's the thing. The
two-
reason why I thought that is because there's a theory that he becomes Jigsaw.
Yeah, I've heard that theory.
Yeah,
I've heard it.
and it makes sense too because
He
take it-
changed his name from John Kramer and then becomes a freaking psychopath.
Well, let's take a look at it. Take a look what he did. That right there, it took great planning
And ingenuity.
and ingenuity right over there. So he had it, and he didn't have a care on how it was going to affect him. It's not like he went up there and was like, feeling bad about it. He actually kind of felt kind of giddy about it. A kind of sick, sadistic.
Sadistic personality.
Yeah.
Again, that's just how I would do it. But again, that's just me.
But now,
What?
you saying about that now makes me think. You know what? If I had it not family friendly, if I had to go all out, now that I think about it, if I was a bandit, I'd just kill the kid, finish robbing the house, and go on my way.
True.
Because that way the parents would have to feel guilty for what they did.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you were idiots. You left your kid alone. You should have had more brains than you did. You should have actually checked the van to make sure your kid was in there, not just do a random head count. Make sure, look at the van and see if you see his actual face.
Exactly.
And go back in to get him if he's missing.
Damn straight.
Just being idiots, like, okay, you know what? Let's just kill the kid, finish robbing the joint. We're gonna make some easy money. Let's go.
Yeah, and that's if you're going that's if you're going to like a rated R.
Yeah.
Doing like turning Home Alone into a horror instead of a.
Actually, I think it would be more of a
Christmas horror movie would be probably
more like a
good.
Christmas thriller.
Well, it would still be a
Because
horror
then you're
because
wondering
you
if
could-
the parents are
you
going to
could
go
make it
get
worse.
revenge.
What I'm saying is.
Wait, you think they're gonna stamp like Pamela Voorhees and go after them?
You never know.
Might as well.
Might as well go for it.
Boy, you get Home Alone 25. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, 25.
Oh my God! I mean, this could get really ugly really quick, And if they come out with a Home Alone Christmas horror movie, I blame us. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna blame us right
There
now.
you go.
Yeah.
But at least we can say that we created a movie franchise.
True.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for today, everyone. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. I want to thank, of course, Rye Guy, who was here for the first part, but unfortunately he had to help out his family with Christmas decorations, which I totally understand. I want to thank Phoenix Fire and Dr. Death for joining us as well. Master Chief 2011 as well for the second part of the film. For the, second part of the review for Home Alone 2.
I do have one thing. Did you guys catch the cameo by basically John Candy? Remember when John Candy was there?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want you guys to try to remember what movie would that come from.
Wait a minute.
It also starred Steve Martin.
Yeah, it's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Exactly.
Oh,
You remember when he was trying to get Steve Martin home, and all of a sudden him and his polka band was there, and they're trying to get her home? I just thought it was a reference to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah, that.
Here we go. We're going over to the schedule here. If you guys are wondering, yes, this was supposed to be a day that we were supposed to stream, but because of the Nutcracker, we were unable to do it. And unfortunately, here's some even worse news. Me and Master Chief were unable to see it. But again, it's not on the staff's part though. It's not on the staff's part. They tried their best. We are going to be doing Roblox, of course. D&D or Mario Party or whatever happens on Monday. we'll be trying to do that on Monday, of course. And, of course, we have Sports Tuesday. I am going to be changing this to from Backyard Baseball 2001 to 2003 because, can I see it?
Oh, yeah.
I had just gotten the game recently, just yesterday, actually. So we will be able to start a actual baseball season on 2003. And I think it'd be pretty cool.
And we need...
Am I making the team or no?
Yes.
Yep, you will be making the team. We had Rye Guy last time. This time it's you.
And you're doing it on the 2003 version. So
Yep.
that'll be the first team for the channel that gets developed.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So,
For that.
but yep, have Sports Tuesday, and of course, like I stated before, you have until the 11th. Our next review is going to be Love Hard with me and Contraband and Mace on Fire. We're going to be doing that movie. And you guys have until December 11th to cast your votes in our Discord, which I'll show you over here. Because right here in the announcements, we have Halo Infinite, Kingdom Hearts. When December 11th rolls around, we are going to be following the schedule from the main games to let you guys know on that one, okay? Starting Wednesday of next year, we're going to do a subscribers-only stream, which is only going to be maybe about an hour or two long. Depends on how long it goes. And you guys get to chat with me, have a great time, play some video games, and enjoy ourselves when we play it. So,
Also, I just want to bring up one thing that Retro is talking about. One of the things when we started this whole channel in the first place was to make videos, to make review videos and stuff like
yeah,
that.
we'll be doing that one sometime when we have the...
But what that also means is that once we complete it, that all subscribers get a chance to go up.
They get a early viewing of the episode
yes.
before it eventually goes onto YouTube.
Yeah.
So that way, so if you guys decide to subscribe to us on Twitch and subscribe to us on YouTube and all that, and we're gonna try to do a Patreon thing. So if we do a Patreon, anybody who helps subscribe to donates on Patreon, they'll get first access to the episode before it releases on YouTube. But again, we're still trying to work out the details on that.
What was that?
Lucky you, subscribers.
Yep.
What was that?
He said lucky you subscribers.
Yes.
But yeah, basically, right now we're still working out the details. Plus, we're still trying to get a few things ready on our end. But I promise you guys that once everything is finally confirmed and everything's ready to go, then we will let you know as soon as possible when we're going to start our very first episode of that type of video on the channel. And it's going to be on my main channel, Mr. Retroactive, not on highlights and not on live streams. Because live streams, Retroactive's Corner here, that's where it's staying. And it's not going anywhere anytime soon. But but when it comes down to that show, that one is going to be mainly me and me handling things for my reviews. Where we have guest stars on the show, that's going to go straight to Mr. Retroactive live streams, which is honestly where it's always going to be. But yeah, to let you guys know, we do have the schedule right here on this right here. If you see right here, we just did this one. We have Love Hard, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And then we have Die Hard on the 18th with myself, Rye Guy, Dr. Death, and hopefully Ice Wolf joins us as we discuss Die Hard.
Wow.
And finally, the four of us will gather together again for one last review for the month of December anyway. On the 25th of December, we're reviewing How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original 1960s classic.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
The one I love.
yep, it's basically the classic that started all those damn remakes. So,
And I think, and you know what would be fun to do too is to do the Jim Carrey How the Grinch Stole
we'll do that next year. We'll do that
All
next
the
year because by the time then what?
Just do all the Grinches. The
That-
original, Jim Carrey. The latest one last year, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Actually, well, trying to do all of them, we would actually have to do a full 4-hour
But
episode on
why
that.
don't we try to do the one maybe the cartoon and
the live action remake
and with
Jim Carrey. Yeah, and then next year what?
I'm surprised you guys didn't want to do National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, trust me, I'm saving that one for next year.
Next year, we can't blow the load. You know,
Yeah.
You know.
Trust me, there's a reason why this is a monthly thing. I'm sorry, a yearly thing. We do this every year, and trust me.
Could have said Mr. Bean for Christmas classics, like Christmas
Oh no!
classic
I'm
shows.
telling you,
Can't
National
forget Mr. Bean and the
Lampoon's
turkey on his
Christmas
head.
Vacation is a freaking classic.
And
It
yes,
is.
guys, we will be reviewing that along. Wait, is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles a Christmas movie?
Yes, it is.
So that means that also counts. So yes, we're going to be doing that one too. Trust me. I even stated this back during September when we were doing Stephen King month. Yes, it's going to happen. We're going to keep doing these months because it's fun. It also gives us plenty of time to figure out more stuff about these films that no one else really gets a chance to really dig into the details.
The difference with Stephen
How about that
King,
one too?
The Stephen King month actually is really more broad than that. Not only is the movies, but you got the books.
The
And then
miniseries.
the miniseries. There are so many things with Stephen King that you bring into the show. It's like there's references to the book and why the book was always better than the with the except
Original.
for a couple of the small short stories.
Yeah.
That actually the movie was better than. So when you start taking a look at like Stephen King, that is like a very
Very
it's
broad.
nice. It's very broad stroke on that. But for everything else, you get you have to just work with the movie in itself.
Very true. And that's the reason why that I will always keep saying this to you guys, that as long as this channel, including this show exists, we will be doing this yearly, every single year on those time frames. We will be reviewing those, and trust me, you guys are going to love them.
And you can do me a favor, Retro. You
Yeah?
can write this down. January 7th, 007.
Oh, actually,
You know
wait, actually, no, that's on a Sunday.
No, 7th is a
Sunday.
No, see first.
It's on
The
a
first-
Friday.
8th.
Oh, it's on a Friday.
We're going to do it on a Saturday.
Yeah,
All right,
We're
so
going to do it on a Saturday for a reason.
we're gonna do it on Saturday. All right, hold on, let me look.
Well,
There's a reason why I'm asking if you'll do that, if you'll do it.
Then what Bond are we doing? Are we doing Sean Connery? Are we doing
Pierce Brosnan? Are we doing Daniel Craig?
Timothy Dalton.
Daniel Craig?
Well, you know the one that we should do is probably on Her Majesty's Secret Service. It's the one. It's the only time that he was Bond, and it told a totally different story compared to all of the others.
That's true.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
or
Do
do
you know why I asked you to do that, Retro?
Well, technically, it would have to be January 8th.
Well, that's still.
Do you know why I picked that?
Say again.
What,
I'll tell you
7th?
right now, you're gonna... Yes. It's my birthday, and it's like, you gotta help me acknowledge it. Gotta help me celebrate. And I want you guys to be part of the celebration.
Okay.
You know what?
Well, you can always
You know what?
switch it.
All right,
You
here
can
it
always-
is.
you can always
All right,
switch it.
guys, I'm going to announce
Okay.
this right now. This one time, I am actually going to do this for you. Actually, no. Actually, there is one more thing I forgot to mention before we mention that. D&D and Mario Party Monday, not happening.
Why?
Because I'm actually getting another birthday celebration.
Oh,
A young
sorry.
boy named Liam Yancey.
Or-
I'm not going to let him know.
Oh, yeah.
Liam Yancey contacted me and asked me to do a stream on his birthday using the same time frame, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and play Smash Brothers. Well, bud, if you're watching this, that's what you're going to get, buddy. We're going to be doing that game for you guys. And right here, right now, announced on my channel on January 7th, this will be the only time I'm going to do this, unless someone else requests it. But we are going to be doing a special... Hold on.
007.
Hold on, sorry. We're going to be doing a special January 7th review of 007 for our buddy Phoenix Fire here.
Okay.
And of course, we will discuss further details on which 007 movies we are going to be doing.
Well,
Just to let you guys
You know
know.
what would be nice if we did one 007 movie and then do the video game?
GoldenEye!
Yes.
Okay, that sounds great.
How's
So,
how's that sound?
hold on, give me a second. There we go.
How does
Hey,
that sound?
Phoenix Fire, what do you think? Phoenix Fire?
Yep, it's perfect to me.
Yep, we're going to be doing a movie and a game review again. This time we're going to do one 007 movie,
Yeah.
and we're going to be doing one of the best classic 007 games of all time, GoldenEye.
Oh, hell yeah.
So yeah, that's
So much fun.
oh yeah. I'm going to see if I can try to find that game too.
That is the epitome of a 007 day.
Very true. And but yeah, Monday is going to be the birthday stream for for Liam Yancey, and of course we have the stream on January 7th on Friday from 2 to 4 like usual, but this time on Friday we're going to be doing 007, a movie, and of course one of the best 007 games of all time, GoldenEye.
Oh, that would be
So,
awesome.
you guys have any final words to say before we sign out?
Like, comment, and subscribe to your boy RetroActive. If you don't, I will come over there and I will like, follow, and subscribe for you.
What about you, Phoenix Fire? Any last words to say?
When you watch our GoldenEye stream in January, you're going to hear some tidbits about Perfect Dark, because
Ooh.
Perfect Dark, because that is the sister to GoldenEye, and it does connect somewhat. So that's got to be included. So if
All
you
right.
really join a Dark,
Oh.
you're going to get smacked with a falcon.
I guess
No!
Alright, so you heard it here first, folks. Until then, I hope you all have an amazing day. I will see you all next time. This is Mr. RetroActive signing out. Have a great day, everybody.
Catch you on the flip.